All right. According to this, we're live. Today, I want to talk about conditioning your hands. Last week, if you didn't see last week's, it's still available. That's called Just Preparing Your Hands to Learn. It was talked about some very basic positioning stuff. So today, we're going to talk about actually playing a little bit more. And everybody always wants us to play fast and play well. We all want that. And so let's talk about it. We're going to start today really basic. Not as basic as last week, though. We're actually putting the pick to the strings this week. So let's just play some open strings. Now there's all kinds of talking about how to hold the pick. I'm not going to get into that very much right now, but let's just get started with the pick. And I'm going to start on the bass strings because they are the closest to you. So all down. So you'll do that going all the way across. And just at a kind of moderate speed like that. And after you've done that back and forth for a bit, now, like we're talking about conditioning, so you don't want to just go through it one time and say, I got it. You want to really actually warm up your muscles doing it. So do it a couple times back and forth. So after you've done down, then we're going to alternate. And you notice we didn't go like, okay, so when we're alternating, it's going to be, we're not ready for twice as fast yet. Let's do it at the same speed and see if we can control both movements real well. So if you're getting any accidental drag on the adjacent strings, you want to control that. All right. Now, if you're not a pick player and you're into finger style, well, then just alternate these two for now. Or take turns with each finger, or even use your thumb. So right now I'm not getting into the details of how to hold the pick or which direction to go with your finger, what part of your finger, how to grow your nails, or any of that. Just the getting warmed up on the strings with your hands. So once you've gone this direction a bit, let's add this hand. And the first thing we do will be left hand only. And I'm starting up here in the 7th fret. I've seen over and over and over again teachers, and I might have done this myself too in the very beginning. You have a beginner student or somebody who says they want to get better and they want to get faster with their hands. And so you take them down here and tell them to go like this. Okay, now that's my hand, okay? If you're a guy and you're a grown-up, your hands are big enough to do that at the very first lesson. But if you're not, if your hands are smaller like mine are, or you don't have your adult hands yet. I don't know when I'm going to get my adult hands, but anyway, this is what I got. So for conditioning your hands, if you're really going to make a go at conditioning your hands, come up where the frets are closer together and just do this. And you can start from the open string if you want. And you may not get much sound out of the notes depending on how experienced and how strong you are. But and then I would say go the other way. And you're actually pulling them off. So you're not just putting your fingers down and lifting them off. You're actually pulling. I slam them all down in the beginning to get a nice. Now the thing about starting back on these strings, they're bigger. So you might think it's harder to pull off. And this one's probably going to be the easiest because it's the thinnest and there's no resistance at all. Here you have this one you're pulling into. This one. So it may not sound like anything, but the question is, what are you feeling when you do it? Can you feel your fingertip actually going off the string? And if your fingers, when you line up your fingers, you should have them kind of in the middle. I don't know if you can see the 4 string impressions there on my fingertips. That's basically what you should be getting. This finger gets cheated all the time. Most people are right-handed naturally. And if you're left-handed, I'm left-handed, but I play right-handed. Hola al arte. Saludos desde Houston. Welcome. Yep. All right, so you can get the first part of your lesson today here, Aldor. Anyway, so that's why I started you back here, because it's a fatter string and it's easier to get a grip on, and I actually land on the string beside it. Now, be patient because this may not sound like much, but what does it feel like? Can you feel your fingers pulling on the string? Because, all right, that's the thing that's going to help you regulate. Now let's put it together. That was all down, 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 down. You can do the open string or not. Here's without the open string. But why not? Now, if you're getting a good, strong sound, then you can double it. And then you can start going down, because if your fingers are comfortable doing this, then let's go down where the frets are further apart. But don't just do it one time and then say, yeah, I got that one. Make sure your fingers are comfortable and that they're staying on the tips, even when they're spread apart. Now, when we started the left hand, I said to thump on. And then I suggested pulling off. Once you add the pick, you're not doing that. You're just... So those are all variations you can try. And you can do other combinations, but... if you get to this point, let's say, and your fingers are apart, but you're getting a good sound and not buzzing, that's a rattle because my strings are low. Yeah, this guitar needs to be refretted, but anyway. And I'm not keeping my fingers down. I mean, I can reach it, so that's good. But okay. So that's the basis of what I wanted to present today, is just getting your hands comfortable one at a time with the movements that you're going to make when you're playing. Then when you start playing, you don't feel as your hands are warmed up. It's like running in a race. If you're going to do even just a short race like a 5K, you're not just going to go out and wait for the gun and run as fast as you can, because your muscles aren't warmed up. So it's not going to work as well. But if you walk around a bit and do some stretches and get ready to go, then you'll be able to run better in that race. And that's what we're talking about right here. Not necessarily running a race, but the conditioning of your body is the same thing. And even though it's your hands, it's not any different. So I hope I've given you some general ideas to start with. And from this point on, hopefully, if you're not already reading notes or playing scales, you can start doing that. But I'll include that more in another installment of conditioning and or scales and cadences. But I just wanted to keep this a little bit shorter, 10 to 15 minutes. So I see Aldor out there. I don't know if anyone else is there, but if you have any questions or comments, I have it set for subscribers only, but there's no limit on how long you've been a subscriber. So click the subscribe and then ask as much as you want. And then unsubscribe if you want, but you won't want, right? Anyway. Okay, so alternate picking. I'll do one sample with 2 fingers of finger style, because I do get asked a lot of questions about how to play finger style. If you've been used to playing with a pick, then playing with just your fingers and sounding like Tommy Emmanuel or whatever seems really hard. And, nothing is easy. To get good at anything, you're going to have to practice. Let me pull the screen down a little so you can see this a little better. But yeah, it's the thing is to just make good contact, just like with the pick. Because it's easy to do. Nobody wants to hear that. So when you play, you're not pulling the string this way. You're going into it. So you actually push down and then slide off. It's an art for sure. And then add all the other things that we talked about. And we've got on this acoustic guitar, these are medium light strings, and you've got 4 wound strings if you are going to do, and it's bad with your pick too if you're making a lot of pick noise. So that's definitely a right hand objective, is to make sure that you're not slip sliding on the strings with your fingertips or with your pick, but going for a real clear sound. So yeah, start on the open string first, and when you feel confident about it, and don't go fast if you can't control it. Okay? Okay, so there we go. We're closing in on 15 minutes, and I wanted to keep it that way. So I'll put some notes in the description for you, and I will be back here next week. So come back and tell me how you did, and maybe what you'd like to see more of in these little lesson moments. So thanks for being here today, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.